Hey everyone, what's going on? You may notice Elvin is away. I am in charge, so you may know me. My name is D. Today we have Brad joining us as well. Let me add him to the stream here. Hey Brad, how you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. I don't know if the chat's echoey or not. Hopefully you guys could hear me, but apparently I sound like God, Brad said. There's a galactus distortion on my voice. We'll find out in a minute.
Yeah.
If the audio's bad, I apologize, but I am happy to be here.
Yep,
What's going on today? What's going on, Brad?
Not much. Glad to be here.
Oh, Ryan Carper's here. 78 points. What's up, guys? I know. He does the big money's got. He's off in Cabo living his best life. So let's forgive him. He didn't take me with him, but that's all right. What are you working on? I see you have some figurines there.
You right now?
Yeah. Or I look like you're working. Maybe you're not. Maybe you're just
yeah. No, I'm working on. I'm doing an alternate torso for Shaw. I always forget his name.
Sebastian
Shaw.
He was angry.
Yeah, this is his like in action pose. He's torn the shirt off, and it's go time.
That's usually he always ends up shirtless.
Totally, yeah.
Every color.
Yeah.
I opened my Punisher up today. He's all right.
Oh, nice.
He has a chip on his shoulder. There's my dad joke. There's my dad joke for you guys. But hey.
That was perfect. You rolled into it so casual.
There you go. Anyways, here's an Elvin version. Why did the toilet paper try to cross the road but fail? Because he got stuck in the crack.
There you go.
There's a twofer.
I thought it was going to be he got wiped out.
Yeah, that works too. There, 3. Now we don't have to deal with 3 weeks. 3 weeks.
It's covered.
So, what made you decide to work on Sebastian? Like, how do you choose your characters?
You know what? This has been on the list for a long time. It's not a priority one. It's one of those ones where it's just on my workbench. As soon as they announced him, I'm like, well, because there's that classic shot. You've seen that classic shot of the X-Men villains. Like if you Google X-Men villains, there's the group shot. And so that was like, he's got the shirt off. And like you said, he always ends up shot too. Yeah,
he's just chilling with the group. Everyone's in their like formal wear and he's just shirtless still.
Yeah. So he always ends up like that because he takes energy blasts, right? And it always blows his shirt apart. He doesn't have those superhero costumes that hold together. He's like the Captain Kirk of X-Men.
Oh, Ryan here. Actually, I don't even want to know. Ryan's not PG, so I'm gonna leave that alone.
It's not safe.
No, not for that guy. But that's all right.
Anyway,
so normally we do the what you watched and what you got, but you don't really get anything, which is good.
Yeah.
You usually make all your stuff. So we already showed off Sebastian. You showed me those minifigs you're working on earlier.
Yeah. So this guy, he was just a pain in the ass. I had to.
Oh, he's huge. I thought he was a small.
No.
I thought he was small.
This is one of his guys.
Yeah.
Like one of his troopers. You can see him next to him. He's just tiny, right? And this guy's just huge. And I had to paint and build him. Sort of like I had to paint him in parts and then build him after I painted him.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's just massive. His name is Mortarion. He's the head of that particular faction, the Death Guard. And then I did this recently for Elvin. Got
Croc-Bat. Was he? Oh, you repainted it?
Yeah. So I did a kind of reddy brown.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to theme him with the actual repainted Crocmaster as well, so that they go together.
Always a pleasure to see your work.
Thanks. And then it's funny because I said that, and it's like that I make all my stuff, and it sounds like I'm saving money, but I'm not.
Oh yeah, actually, I know that for a fact. You're
right.
I don't know why I said it like it was cheaper.
Right. So like I made this guy, and you and I custom ordered the head, which was about like $30 after shipping.
Yeah.
And then I ended up borrowing you and Andrew both gave me a 6-shooter, but I ended up actually, because I didn't want to build the what are they, the holsters? So I ended up ordering these 2 holsters and guns off of Shapeways, and those were like $35 after shipping for those 2. So all in all, I think I put in like $100 into this Wild Bill. Like if Hasbro releases a Wild Bill and he's $100, I wouldn't buy it.
Oh. At the end of the day, it is right. You have a limit on what you'll spend money on.
Right.
It's completed, but you'll be willing to pay like $80 to go find these parts separately. Sometimes I look at a figure, I'm like, do I want to pay full price just for the head?
Right. Yeah. And then I also picked up an extra Emma because I wanted to redo the head on this one.
Where did you find her? She's still like straggling around EB Games.
I grabbed her from Eddie in Coquitlam on Marketplace. I bought some stuff from him before. He's pretty good. He's a good guy. So yeah, that's that. And that's it. That's all the stuff I got right now.
Did you watch anything? I know you watched Carnival Row. We're going to start talking about that in a bit.
I finished Carnival Row, so I'm happy about that. That was really, really good. I really enjoyed it. And what else did I do? My wife and I watched The Whale last night.
How was it?
Don't have like any rope around that you might hang yourself with.
It's not bad. So not bad, but it's like depressing.
It's so depressing. But yeah, really well acted. I can see why he won this award. And what else did I watch? I feel like I watched some other stuff. Oh, I watched that kid from Sixth Sense was in some time travel movie from a year or 2 ago, and I watched that. And it was all right. It was all right. It was one of those ones where they like, the ones where they don't pay for the special effects. They just talk about time travel the whole movie, and like they never actually time travel.
I was watching one where it was just a room, like it's just a box.
Yeah.
And then the lights flicker and then they come out and then his nose bleeds and stuff. You're under the impression you time travel, but there's no effects like what you just described.
Right. Like there's no costumes put in, like they go back to the 60s or something. So yeah, it was all right. How about you?
Well, I finished The Consultant last week.
It's good, right?
I liked it. I didn't know where it was going, and then by the middle, I clued in. I'm like, is he supposed to be blank? And I was like, oh, he is. Okay, cool.
All right, then. Yeah, that fits.
Yeah, and then tried watching the show called Swarm on Amazon Prime. It's produced by Donald Glover. It's weird. It seems like it'll be another type of show like The Consultant.
I heard it like represents the toxic fandom. I read the tagline. I'm like, I don't know.
So far, I don't know what to make of it. I only saw one episode though, so we'll see.
Yeah.
And then, as for what I got Cap here.
Nice. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know what I picked up today was the Iron Man, actually.
How do you like it? Or did you open it yet?
I opened it, and then my son was like, "Oh, that's the Iron Man from my childhood," and I'm like, "All right, here you go."
Here you go.
It's
all yours.
I handed it over.
Is that all you have to say to get something from you? For anyone listening, it's the Marvel Legends Ultimate Captain America. And what armor would you consider that? What mark is that? I don't know. It's the one. It's not Extremis.
It is Extremis.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah. It is.
Because I know he had one when he was like Homeland Security armor. They didn't have a name. I didn't know if it was that one, but
yeah, I think it's Extremis.
And then for whatever reason, I went on a binge and got these Mario figures.
Oh yeah.
I saw them like every day, and then I passed on them. And then the more trailers that came out, the more I wanted these stupid things. So I went on a hunt.
It was funny watching that evolution on our chat group, and then everybody knew you were going to buy them. And
I was like, I'm only going to get. I don't need any. These I don't have any Mario. Okay, Bowser. Yeah. Okay, Mario.
Yeah. Okay. You were like the only guy in the group who didn't know you were going to get them.
Yeah. I was late to the party, my own party.
Yeah. What do you think of the eyes on them?
They're creepy. I love it.
Right. Okay.
I can pose him any way I want, and he's always looking at the camera.
Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it works for you. Yeah. They're strange. Mario's the weirdest. The rest almost look like the game, and then Mario looks like he's trying to look like Chris Pratt or something.
Well, They paid big bucks for that voice actor. They got to
Yeah.
use the likeness.
Yeah. And then they put it through a machine to make it sound like Mario.
And then I didn't get anything else. That's pretty much it. I didn't even go get my comics this week. I don't know what's in my saver. I'm gonna have to go tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's usually what happens. I just go to let them know I'm not like, you know how people rack up like hundreds and hundreds of dollars in comics and they don't show up for months. I don't want to be that guy, so
Yeah.
I'll go tomorrow.
Any comic podcast I listen to, they talk about that.
Just hoarding their saver boxes.
Yeah. There's a couple podcasts I've listened to that are like by comic book store owners, and they just think, that's their biggest gripe.
On Facebook, all I see are the owners posting like, "Come get your stuff," or it's being like so.
What happens to it if you don't get it? You don't get
it back
any
on
refund?
the shelves. Nah, I don't think so. No, you don't pay for them. You don't pay ahead of time. That's just them being nice.
But they don't get any refund from the publisher. They're stuck.
They
just get stuck
with
them. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They heat their homes with it.
Pretty much at that point, cat litter. So, since we're on the topic of toys, let's see what we have here.
All right.
You're not a McFarlane hater.
No, but I'm not a fan either.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I think you. I think you might be.
No, I'm positive I'm not.
Spoilers for anyone who wants to avoid the Flash movie trailer scenes, because this line of toys is from that. I'm sure you could guess who is in it already. But you have 89 Batman, the Flash, with something that's supposed to be Supergirl, another variant Flash, and then Batfleck. That Supergirl's awful, in my opinion.
Yep, totally agree.
But the show stealer was this Batmobile.
Yeah.
So this thing, I think it was $89.
And everybody's comparing it to the Hasbro.
To the HasLab. They're like,
yeah.
throw in the Robbie Reyes figure and it skyrockets. Oh, it's $69.99. Pre-order sold out, obviously. People went nuts for this thing.
Yeah, that's US though, right?
Yeah, but still.
Yeah.
I'd be fine with that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and then Robbie Reyes, yeah, what was it? $400?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, me and Brad match.
Yeah.
What's going on, Viper? I still have to build one of 78 points Dios. He's the one where you're like, hey, so what's the price they got that? He's the one who makes them. This guy here.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Brad was admiring your dioramas that I stole from Elvin, so maybe you'll get some more customers.
Or I'll just steal some from Elvin.
So I don't know. Like, it looks cool. I don't have any McFarlane figures. I have nothing bad to say about this thing.
Yeah, I don't have the room for it, but yeah, it's nice.
And it fits. It actually fits the figures in. I'm curious if they'll do that like the old school toys where it's like a half lean, where they're like this. They just slide it.
Yeah. The famous like Simpsons scene when Stanley jams.
Oh, he just stabs it through
the thing.
The thing. Yeah,
it breaks through the floor.
For anyone listening, it's the classic Batmobile, but the Flash version. So I think it's slightly different. There's some updated modifications to it because it's a different version of him.
It's nice though. It's still got looks like the holes on either side of the car where the grenades pop out. Or no, where the guns pop out, right? I'm looking at.
Everyone knows Batman loves guns on his car. Non-lethal. Yeah. My favorite thing about Arkham is like the thing has just ammunitions that will just blow walls out to hell and cars, but there's no casualties whatsoever.
No.
Those kind of dumb, a small company. Yeah, so I didn't include it. We spoke about it a while ago. There's a third-party company that released the Hell Charger, but it's not called the Hell Charger. It's the Robbie Reyes car. So
right.
I figured that would happen. People would start 3D printing his accessories, his Ghost Rider skull, because his is slightly different, has like mechanical features. And then, of course, they're going to print the car. So it failed, but it was a gold mine for the 3D printing people, like third-party customizers. So right on.
Right, because the demand is there.
Ramen Toys. Thanks, bud. What else we got here? Oh, yeah, I want this. Medieval Spawn.
Yeah, it looks cool. I mean,
You're not a Spawn guy, but
I'm not into statues, so
he moves a little bit. His wrist move. I'm seeing if I have any McFarlane's handy, but I don't. I have like all of. Well, my Spawns are up there.
You know what I'll buy from McFarlane is I grabbed like a Dune figure, and I grabbed a Blade Runner figure. He does some
right.
moving. Yeah,
you bought him for the sole purpose of fixing it, though.
Yeah, then I painted the faces. Yeah,
yeah, it doesn't count. You just had to enhance it.
But yeah, they fit. He has some licenses like that you can't get any others. So
yeah, no, I totally get it. Here's some more Page Punchers, another Dr. Fate, a better version of, I don't know, I wouldn't say better. I hated this costume too. She's from Injustice. I hated her stupid like haircut.
Yeah.
Like, I know we don't want to throw the word Karen around because it doesn't apply to everyone, but
I was thinking the exact same thing.
They made her look like she looks like a soccer mom. It looks like Power Girl's head on her body, and it just doesn't work.
She's dropped her kids off. She's ready to fight crime.
She's ready to fight. And then I thought these were Super 7, but it's another company. The Nacelle company, $35.99. They don't look like they have much articulation. About as good as Super 7. I don't know if they break as easily, but this isn't for me.
Who wanted these? Was it Ron that wanted these so bad?
Maybe, but I don't know if he knew they were like this.
Right.
For any of you youngins, Biker Mice from Mars came out in like the 90s, stopped, and then came back in 1993, and then stopped again. And then one more time in 1996, and it looked different.
Yeah, this was a late night corporate meeting where they were like, "How do we cash in on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?"
Yeah, a lot of the the anthropomorphic animals did that. What did Viper say? I'll buy Batman and Superman, Wonder Woman and Supergirl from DC, but that's it. I mean, like, there's those obscure characters like Ghostmaker that I wanted.
He is cool looking,
and then he just sits by himself.
Yeah,
because he doesn't fit anywhere else. At least with my Spawns, they all like line up and have the shelf to themselves. But I wanted a shelf of like my Magic users or my Hell users, like my Hell card people, like Ghost Rider and Spawn side by side. That'd be cool. But I don't want him towering over the others. It just doesn't work out.
I think I'm gonna do a Legend Spawn.
I wanted to.
Yeah.
Someone made one out of that movie Venom. It looked pretty good.
Yeah, I think I'll steal some parts and make one.
Yeah.
McFarlane will get some of my money. I need parts.
At this point, you could probably like they're pretty discounted now because he does the off-color variants. So you might have to paint them, but you're going to get them discounted anyway.
Yeah, sometimes you got to paint them anyway.
The good thing with him is his boot and his gauntlet are so oversized. It won't look weird if you put them on a Legend.
Right.
What else we got here? These stupid things.
So weird.
I don't know. I don't know what to make of them. There's no reason for them.
No, Biker Mice from Mars for me was always one of those like shame things from my generation.
Yeah.
I'm just like, why did we do this?
What else here? We got, this is more for me. It's the MDLX Transformers. This one's Ultra Magnus. I have the Optimus.
Nice. Yep.
The Bumblebee. Hey, Nightmare Nemo. What's going on, man? So I'm keeping up with these. They look nice. They don't transform. I know there's some sticklers out there who want their robots to transform, but mine always stay in bot mode. You saw Jazz last week. He's been like this since the day I got him. So I see no purpose of spending money on one to transform.
Yeah. I kind of like them this way anyway, because I think they look more like action figures this way. I think they lose some of the, like, sometimes they got to have the hollow arms and things just to try and get them to transform.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like this style.
Ryan's talking about real toys. Here's a real toy for you, bud. Get in on that Super 7 train. I'm afraid to open him. He might snap to pieces.
Yeah.
I need to check and inspect the wrist didn't explode in here.
They should just pre-break them for you. Like when you pre-shrink clothing before you buy it.
It's like, there you go.
Yeah, these are nice. I like the one remember the one that was like I don't know, probably like double or triple the size of this. It
Oh,
looks
like
cool next to Legends. The Optimus.
the deluxe ones, yeah. They're
Yeah.
basically the same brand. These the mini ones are these, and then there's the deluxe ones.
Yeah.
I almost got Optimus and Megatron.
Yeah,
I'm
right?
like, why am I doing that? There's where am I
Yeah.
gonna put him? There's nowhere to put him. Look at this
They look so good next to the
There's
Legends, though.
absolutely like no room here whatsoever.
No.
And my closet where I'm supposed to put clothes in, there's more toys.
You could take those posters down and put up shelves.
I could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's always more room.
Jess wants to do that. So might be a project in the future.
Yeah.
So these made me think of you.
Oh.
Toy Force posted this in their Discord, Lost Cause Collective. They do their shows on Saturday at 8:30. So check them out too. They're cool guys. 78 and Omar normally do it, and then they have guests. I don't know. This seems like it's up your alley.
This looks like a pathway for you to finish that night.
I'm not doing that thing ever. Alvin wanted King Arthur and the Knights of Justice.
Yeah.
What is it, like 3 years ago?
Yeah.
Brad made him some. Andrew made him some.
Yeah.
I think John made him some. He wanted me to do it. I tried. I'm like, their armor changes every episode. That's the thing about the 90s. They didn't have to be consistent. They could just draw lines wherever they want. And then he turns around and then the next scene it's done. The colors aren't even the same.
Yeah. And I think also like depending on the pose they were making, they changed the shoulder thing or whatever. So it's not getting in the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the knee pads just vanish.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this. This is ugly. Sorry.
Matt made him Arthur.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was you or Matt.
Yeah, I made him Lancelot. Yeah.
I was like, did someone pick Lancelot? He's like, yeah, Brad did. Okay, well, sorry, I'm not doing anyone else.
That's the easy one. Yeah.
But even him, he had that stupid side guard.
Yeah.
Like, oh, God.
Yeah, weird like face thing. Yeah. Anyway, I mean, this is you're in now. You can use one of these as your base.
Mm-hmm, I'm sure I can.
Yeah, whatever.
So, Mr. Joe guy, are you getting either of these?
Okay.
It's Big Ben and Range Viper.
This is super unpopular, but I don't like Range Viper.
I don't know the first thing about him. So, is he a fan favorite or something?
Okay, I don't know that, but I just, when they showed him, I wasn't familiar with it. I just don't get the brain thing on the head. And then I looked at the classic and it is accurate.
Yeah.
And people are super excited. I don't get it. I don't get the weird brain thing. It looks like Attack of Mars or whatever those characters are.
Oh, Mars Attacks.
Mars Attacks,
It reminded me of Jason X. When he went through the like super space station like upgrade.
Right.
I don't know. He looks cool.
It looks cool enough, but I don't get it. I'm like no, I'm okay.
It doesn't fit with your collection.
No, I like this Big Ben character. I don't have any connection with him. I never owned him. I kind of like the Special Forces gas mask with the hood. I think that's cool.
That looks cool.
Looks very Call of Duty. So I'll probably pick that up.
It?
Yeah, I'll get that. Yeah, I passed on what's his name? What was the guy with the ugly face that everybody's making fun of?
Oh, Luscious Lips.
Yeah, from Dick Tracy. Yeah, I passed on that guy. Even with the costume and stuff, I'm like, what does this guy offer? Where this guy, he's got like the double bandolier and he's got some cool stuff.
What would be to I rearrange my shelves. I have some signs. Yeah, I get the idea to rearrange my shelves, and then I just don't do it. Like it's visually everything's nice and organized.
Yeah,
and that's pretty much how I live my life in general.
It's just staying that way.
Oh yeah, Ryan's into these like mythical things too, so I assume he's gonna buy them.
Oh yeah, okay. Was it just the one? It's just Arthur?
That's the only one I saw. There's probably more. Like I don't know the first. I just thought they looked cool. Like even I want it, but that's a whole other thing I don't want to get into.
Yeah, I never went down the Mythic Legions road. I really like them, but I'm not going to go that way.
Yeah. And then, are you a Masterverse guy? Master of the Universe? Because they revealed these origins and wish lists, and there's some reveals, and they just like started leaking out. You got another Merman, Grizzler.
Yeah.
Buzz Off, Faker. Like you're not into He-Man, are you?
No, not I get a couple core guys. Like if they do a Beastman and a Trapjaw, I might get those. Are this is Mattel still?
Yeah.
Okay.
Same line as what's out right now.
Right, so they'll fit with like the guy. I just picked up the 40th anniversary He-Man.
Yeah,
And
yours is a bit buffer in the chest area. Like your He-Man will be bigger, but they'll be the same height.
Okay, he could be the buffest in Eternia.
I mean, that makes sense. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Right, yeah. He's doing a lot more of the chest days than everybody else. Buzz off.
Night Force.
Night Force.
Google.
Right? we need Rick on for all the G.I. Joe talk.
Well, if Walmart's associated with it, I already have problems. I don't know. Our Walmart is crap. Like, period.
What are you talking about? They got 6 Dusties.
Okay, great.
Way after everybody already had them.
Yeah, I know. Remember when we had Zellers?
Yeah.
And there was that Zellers exclusive. Like, well, I'm never gonna see that. Oh God.
Yeah.
Someone's joining in. Let me remove this because it might freeze. All right, I see you lurking. Do I have him in? Here we go. What's going on?
Buenas noches, amigos.
What time is it over there? Live from Cabo.
It's the same time zone.
Are you getting some good toy hunting done over there?
No, I'm at a beautiful.
I know. I saw the pictures. It's like there's no toys for Miles.
No.
Live from Cabo.
I just had some dinner with the family, and the whole restaurant surprised me with this serenaded me for my birthday, and I had flares and everything. I wasn't expecting that at all. Nobody, even my wife, didn't even know about it.
Oh, they didn't know.
Nobody knew. We didn't know at all. The restaurant.
Oh, that's good service. If they're just like, you gotta remember this guy's birthday.
We're wondering why yesterday they were so insistent of getting dessert, and we didn't want dessert, right? So today they're like, "You want dessert?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" And then
you're ruining their nice gesture.
Yeah.
Why just make it hard on them? Does it look like I want dessert right now? I clearly am tired and I want to go to bed. He's just freaking out at them.
I see some housewarming things have to be done here, but there we go. We got the banner. How was it? I heard it was a little shaky. I was hearing the little whispers from people. But you guys are good?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Did you do the world famous dad joke?
I did 3 back to back.
Oh man, yeah.
3?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I guess I won't do mine then. I had one prepared, but
do it. Mine were like my level of dad jokes, so please proceed.
No. The people can only take so much of the dad jokes. They're gonna tune us out.
Yeah, D said he did 3 so that we don't have to do it for 3 weeks.
No, next week. We're doing it next week. Get off and go back to vacation mode. So also put on an orange shirt out like the others. Yeah, was you guys color coded? Was that by accident?
It was accident.
Yeah.
This is supposed to be red. I just watched it too many times.
Mine's actually supposed to be red too.
Twinsies, there you go.
This is washed out red.
Yeah, I just wanted to come say hi to you guys.
We're looking at all the He-Man stuff you're probably gonna buy.
Oh man, I just saw that on the feeds. I was like, Mattel's is gonna take so much of my money. Oh,
yeah, I want to see what they do with Beastman and Trapjaw. Those are 2 I'm looking for.
Well, they made a deluxe Beastman, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. He's in here. He's somewhere. We're working our way to him.
I have one.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't want to bother you guys. I'll let you guys be. I know you guys.
I mean, you're more than welcome to stay.
Yeah, of course.
Unless you're just sitting in the corner, like trying to be quiet.
No, I'm just just want to say hi to you guys, and that's all. Like I don't want to get in the way of you guys doing your thing. So
all right.
I appreciate you guys.
Pop in and out. Pop in and out if you feel like it.
I'm just following D's lead.
I like to sleep in my bed tonight. Okay, my wife's gonna kill me.
Yeah, you better get back.
I'm supposed to take her to the bar right now, and I'm like, "Can you give me 5 minutes with my boys?"
I have to go to the washroom. He's on his laptop.
Yeah, that's so easy to closet right
I
now.
stuck on the balcony right now. All I can hear is the waves crashing. It's just like so loud.
Yeah.
And you're like, and you're probably like, oh, boo, waves crashing.
Yeah.
But it's so annoying at times, man. It's just like after you get used to it the first day, you're just like, oh, shut
It's
up.
like, and the smell, it smells like pineapples and fruits every morning. It's
There's
just
like
like,
flowers
man.
everywhere, for God's sakes. People are super nice to me. What's going on here? Yeah, man. I couldn't even finish my food. They took it away and they just brought another one. I'm like, I didn't even want another one. I was okay with the one I had. They're like, no, sir. We're going to give you another one.
it's like the temperature cooled to room temperature. That's disgusting. We need to bring it.
Yeah, nonsense, sir.
They just dump it. Well, it's good. You get your money's worth over there. Good service.
Oh, yeah.
It's
The
good.
service is amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Just the first time in Cabo, just like first class, like picked us up, in an Escalade and everything, brought us here, just like amazing. Like whatever, the amount you pay for this hotel is just absolutely worth it. So
Wow.
yeah,
That's good.
Very cool.
amazing service. All right, guys, I'm letting you guys be. I'm gonna go. Wife's giving me the look. I have to head out.
Bye. Sorry for stealing. No, he did this on his own. I was almost going to apologize. I'm just used to that. Apologizing for my friends.
You guys are doing a great job. Everybody in the chat, be nice to these guys. They're holding the fort down. I'll see you guys next week, okay?
Have fun.
Elvin's in prison.
Yeah, I'm locked up. Yeah, I'm wearing the black shirt here.
See you later.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
All right, see you, Alvin.
Bye.
So what else we got? I don't know. Claptrap. Like these are all hilarious to me.
Yeah.
Like again, they're space Vikings. That's just space barbarians. That's cool.
Yeah.
Prince Adam.
Man, I don't. It's a weird Adam. Adam's like super like sort of nervous in that, but he's still jacked in the show, right?
In the classic one, he just looked like He-Man with just those clothes on, so he's still humongous, and it's because the animators didn't want to do anything like change his physique. It's just too hard.
Yeah, it's like if Bruce Banner was just as big as the Hulk all the time.
Just put glasses on and it's attractive.
Yeah, Clam Champ. I don't know. I like Webster. He's kind of cool.
I mean, I'll give them credit. These are all unique. It's like the mutant of the week in Ninja Turtles. Like they come up with ideas and they put them out. So sweet.
Yeah. Did you watch the cartoons that made us? With the He-Man or the toys that made us? And
the toys that made us. Yeah.
They made the toys first, and then they had to come up with names and like actually write the story.
Yeah.
Like the toys led the story.
They did the same thing with Ninja Turtles, and like Eastman and Laird were like, "You're ruining it. You're ruining it," because the comics were so different. Yeah. They're like, no, we can't make toys out of these. You gotta make toys, and then the episodes to sell the toys.
Yeah.
Okay, this one's interesting because because the it looks, I don't know, I don't want to say seamless, but it's like there's a rubbery foam over the legs.
Yeah, I kind of like the character design that his legs look like they take the shocks.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. I don't know, like that looks awesome to me. Kind of corny though, but like it is what it is. They always look corny.
He's such a stupid character.
They all are though.
Yeah.
Clawful.
Oh, Slushhead, I don't like at all. It's just a weird. It looks like he looks like he's from another cartoon.
Yeah. Toxic Crusader or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Clawful. His claw looks cool.
Yeah. That's what he does.
Then Whiplash and Lord Skeletor. Like you're
I'd get a Whiplash.
The designs are faithful. Like they kept him corny but accurate to their classic looks. Like it's just like a modernized take on them. So I can't fault them for that.
Do you remember Whiplash had like a spring in his waist, in his hip swivel?
Yeah.
So you could wind him up and then knock people over. Like you couldn't just do that on your own.
I broke half of my toys because the spring-loaded gimmicks just would always give out after a while. Like all my my Street Sharks, like Big Slamu, his arm flew off because you're supposed to lift it and it comes down.
Yeah.
Ripster punches, but his waist just flung off. Like they all sucked. The only one I have left is him. So I need to go to eBay or something and get the rest. Every time I stare at him, it just feels like you're missing his bros, you know.
It just has to last long enough till next Christmas.
Yeah. Honestly, the Mattel stuff hijacked the week for toys. That's pretty much like
That's a pretty big announcement.
yeah.
What they announced, like 30 figures.
What did Hasbro release? Did they announce anything?
No, I can't remember.
If they did, I didn't find it worth remembering.
Yeah.
Are you getting anything from the new? You weren't here last time, but like the Rose and the Daredevil Elektra.
I'm getting Daredevil Elektra.
Okay, that
sure.
I pre-ordered.
Yeah, I pre-ordered one of those. What else am I getting?
I know you wanted Tarantula, or you said you liked his corny look. Maybe was that you?
You know what? I was actually looking at him for the body because I'm like, it's like just a red body with the butterfly joints. I thought that was something that I could use, but no, I won't use him for the head. I was just checking my my pre-order is not yet shipped on Amazon. My wife went through this the other day. She's like, "What are you ordering?" I'm like, it's it's coming up over the next year.
Do you pre-order pay like do you go to sites where you have to pay up front?
No.
Okay, that's not so bad then.
And then if I find them, I cancel them. Amazon's always like the last.
Viper missed it too, actually. I did tell it that joke. He just missed it. He tuned in after.
Yeah.
It was very tame in comparison to Elvin's. I slipped it in there. I didn't announce it.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, you worked it in like a segue. Yeah. I don't think it's... What?
Are you getting the range Vipers?
Nope.
No, you're not into... That's the stuff you don't like.
That's the guy with the brain, right?
Is that him? I don't know. I might get him.
Really? Yeah, I know.
I might get it.
I always say no, and then if I'm
like you can't even use the body.
I don't know. I mean, if I figure out a reason, I'll get him. I think he'll be around. I mean, Walmart will order 6 all at once after everybody else has them.
they're just gonna peg one. Well, no, that's not fair. They only do that for ones we don't care about. The ones that like look decent, they're nowhere to be found. So,
right, yeah, and I guess that's the thing. I'm the unpopular opinion on that guy. Everybody else is super excited about him.
Yeah,
yeah.
But aside from toys, you made me watch Carnival Row.
How much did you watch?
I only watched episode 1.5.
Oh,
I did. So, I will give any show a chance if someone tells me to watch it. Brad was watching season 2. Did it just come out or did it finish?
It's done.
Okay, so Brad loves this show, so I gave it a try. I don't hate it. I'm not going to slam this or anything. The premise is interesting. I liked the world building. Orlando Bloom's character, what's his name? Philo. Yeah. He seems to be an inspector in a world where mythical creatures coexist with human beings, but they are like second-rate citizens. They're basically minorities and they're treated like garbage. And in the episode I saw, there's a murderous skinhead. That's what he is, going around bashing them in the heads with hammers. And it's his job to like track down who's doing this. And no one cares because they're all basically second-rate citizens. They're the scum of the earth. They're only here because we pity them. It's a very pretentious Victorian era style. So he's Sherlock Holmes in a world full of fairies and orcs and these type of creatures.
Yeah.
I liked his character at first. I don't hate him, but he came off as a guy who no one would mess with ever. Like he pulled an axe on someone and they just let him go because he has this clout, right? But then it got to a point where he had to chase someone and he just got made the biggest fool in that scene. I'm like, what happened to all that bravado earlier?
Yeah, he gets beat up a lot. Yeah. He does get beat up a lot. We're not doing spoilers? No spoilers?
You can spoil it. I don't think anyone's
Nobody cares.
It's not that it just seems like season 1's already passed. So
Right. So I mean, I really like so the storyline is basically there seems to be just 2 lands, right? And I assume there's a bigger world outside of that, but there's 2 lands. There's the land there's the territory of the Pact, which is the antagonist empire in the start, and they're fighting against the Berg, which is the one that Philo's from. And they're fighting in the Pact's territory at the start. And the Pact then pushes them out. And that territory happens to be the land where all these fairy people are from. So a bunch of them, because they were kind of aligned with the Berg fighting against the Pact. And so when the Pact pushes the Berg out, a bunch of these guys go with the Berg back to the Berg. And that's why they live in a ghetto, because they can't, their land's been taken over. And they were technically aligned with the Berg, but of course the Berg was just, that's the humans. They were just using them to fight against the Pact.
Yeah.
So they give them some place to live, but they don't treat them very well, right? They're kind of like, living in these ghettos. I really liked it because I thought it was going to be super clear cut, and that we were going to have like this story of sort of like, oh, you know, racism bad, like,
yeah,
duh.
I thought that
right?
too. I thought it'd be like, what was that Netflix movie with Will Smith and that orc? Was it Bright or something?
Yeah.
I thought it'd be like just that's watered down and simple, but they go really in depth here. So I kept watching. It felt slow in a lot of places, but
yeah. So if you look at this character here, this this guy here on the right, I can't remember his name now, but he actually is one of these fairy characters, this Puck character, who he actually aligns himself with the humans in his past and helps them track down other fairy characters to be, you know, abused or enslaved. He's basically
like a tracker.
Yeah, but he's basically like almost like a race trader type thing, where he's decided that he's sick of being the underclass, so he's going to make his fortune by helping humans track down other people from his own group.
Yeah,
which is pretty deplorable, but at the same time, like, but the characters.
This is mirroring history. That's what I noticed a lot of. That's what some things pulled me in for that reason.
Yeah, and it's his character is, it's not just clear that he's a bad guy. His character is complex. It's like, what choice does he have as a character in this universe trying to, so he actually rises up through society and becomes wealthy.
Yeah.
And then you're like, so at first they introduce him as this wealthy Puck character, and you're like, you feel bad for him because all the other wealthy characters are treating him like shit. And then you find out he actually like helped track down his own people and put them in jail and things. And you're like, oh, he's kind of an asshole. So all the characters in the show, you're going back and forth all the time. You're like, I don't know. Like I like those kinds of characters because that's what people are like in real life. They're not just clear, like, oh, he's a good guy or he's a bad guy. And all the characters go through that kind of evolution throughout the show.
I'm surprised they just didn't kill him. Like, he's not that hard to get to, but it's interesting they have characters like that. I really liked the Fays.
Mm-hmm.
They're pretty deadly when they want to be, and you know me, I don't care about myth and all that. I tried to watch what is it, House of the Dragon or whatever, and Lord of the Rings and all those. I try, like, I just tune it out, and I'll probably tune this out too, but I'm gonna give it a chance still because I want to see where this is going. But so far I liked it. I liked the makeup work. I liked the history aspect of it. Do you like Orlando Bloom's character, or do you think, it's Carnival Row AI? So if you're watching, we will try not to spoil it.
Yeah, I'm trying my best. I like his character. It goes through multiple evolutions. It's difficult to go through without spoiling it, but he's got some history, and he ends up being tied to some other characters in ways where you find out more about him. Yeah. There's lots of good reveals. All the characters I find evolve over time, which is really good. And the whole time you're like, I don't know who I side with. Like, you see these, they'll have sort of, I don't know what they would be called, like Fey rights type revolutionary characters who there's like, they're trying to fight back against the humans, but you know, you're like, well, yeah, of course, why wouldn't they? That's good. But then they do some pretty horrible stuff to make their point. And I find Orlando Bloom's character in particular, but also the other girl, I can't remember her name, his love interest though, the Faye character, they're constantly trying to maintain their own moral code, and they're constantly at odds with all of the factions because all the factions just break their own moral codes all the time. And I like it. It's complex writing rather than just what you usually get. It's just some sort of simple, like, good guy versus bad guy.
Would you say, well, since we're talking about shows, we can just talk about them in general. Is this the show you were looking the most forward to being finished? Like, what shows are your top 3 right now?
Top 3 right now, shows wise. Um. Well, I'm looking forward to. I think I mentioned I'm looking forward to Picard season 3.
Oh, right. I have to try that.
Yeah.
Which is I'm surprised. Like,
yeah,
I'll give that a try.
I'm not gonna watch. I started watching season 1. No, I finished season 1. That's right. That's how memorable it was.
You didn't like it at all?
No.
Okay.
No. Season 1 was dumb, and that's not an opinion. That's just fact. And then season 2, I didn't even bother. But the writer changed, I guess, on season 3. Somebody was saying so. I just watched the trailer, and it looks like it's crazy. It looks like the reunion show that I probably was hoping for in the first place, with all of the main characters from the Next Generation.
Oh, that's cool then.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's basically like, it looks like it's got Riker, it's got Worf's back, it's got Geordi, it's got Data. Like, everybody's there.
Well, now I want to watch it.
Yeah.
Okay, that was easy. Okay, I'm up for it.
Yeah, check out the trailer. Like, I was like, oh, this looks like a totally different show. Like, it's like almost like a reboot of the series, where it's like, yeah, this was where they should have started.
Do you prefer futuristic sci-fi or mythical?
I think probably sci-fi.
Sci-fi, okay.
Yeah. I think sci-fi is just our mythical, because we're a scientific society.
And you gave up on superhero stuff at the moment?
Yeah.
Okay, not even like. Are you gonna watch Shazam? You're like, no, I don't think so.
I didn't hear good things. Is it getting good reviews or?
Not really. It's mixed reviews. So I was gonna check it out on the weekend. We're just talking about media right now in general, because why not? Why not? It's a free for all. So I thought it would just be an action-packed film with some laughs, but I knew it would be tailored towards kids. And the more people that saw it, the more they're like, I was very bored. I don't know what they're doing with this. I don't know. Is this being rebooted or not? Like, DC as a whole doesn't seem to know what they're doing. Right. And then on the weekend, Zack Snyder tweeted that video where it said incoming transmission, and it looked like it was related to Superman stuff again. But as far as we know, Cavill's out and Superman's still up in the air. Like, they redone it to, I wouldn't say a younger version, just a different concept on him, a different take.
Right.
I think they need to get more organized. Shazam's one of the characters where it's like, well, if the numbers are good, we'll keep them around.
Right. Yeah. I was really hoping that, I think I mentioned in the chat group, like, I think they missed the opportunity with that Supergirl character in the new Flash movie, because I thought they should have just done like a Steve Rogers skinny Cavill. Yeah,
that would have been great.
Yeah, that would have tied everything together, and then you have like exactly like in the Flashpoint comic where it's Superman in the vault, right?
Yeah,
and they have that technology. They already did it with Steve Rogers, so that was a weird choice for me. I don't know why they did that.
It was a good way to introduce her, but they're not keeping her, so I don't see why. I'm still excited for that movie. I don't know if you don't. Do you even care about DC? Or are you just over them?
I only care about Michael Keaton. I'll watch Michael Keaton.
Will you see it just for him?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think it will do him justice?
Yeah. He'll do himself justice.
Yeah, he's what I want to talk about. It's Michael Keaton, for God's sake.
He's good at everything, so he'll do fine.
I need to go back and rewatch those. I don't even recall like the plot. I remember like obviously the Joker and all that. Catwoman, Batman Returns I loved with Danny DeVito, but I can't picture any like linear path from start to finish of the film. I just remember scenes of it.
Okay. Yeah. I think I've seen it enough. I remember most of it. Yeah. I like obviously, Jack Nicholson was amazing. That'd be cool if they got like Jack Nicholson Joker in the new one.
That'd be awesome. Like, they might as well just use this. They might as well just go balls to the walls, go all out. But
yeah, we like the nostalgia. We'll pay for it. Can you can't show video on here, can you?
I can try. What do you want me to show?
We could.
I'll mute it.
Oh, right, because it'll screw up the.
Alvin did it last week. Alvin did it for the trailers last week, and it was fine. So.
Yeah. I was thinking you could show the Picard trailer. We could discuss it. Because when I heard about it, I'm like, oh damn. And then I watched the trailer. I'm like, yep, that's the kind of send off I would like for that crew. Did you watch a lot of Next Generation when you were younger?
Yeah, my mom did, so I had to just sit there and like.
Yeah, I don't know why that one was kind of universal. Like, there's a lot of pop culture stuff that my wife has never seen, but like Next Generation, like her and her family watched that.
And Deep Space Nine, I don't know why that one bothered me.
Oh yeah, I was done. Deep Space Nine was weird.
Okay, I'm muting this, Alvin. If this gets you flagged, I'm sorry, but you said it was fine last week, so.
So you can hear it or no?
No, I'm not even listening to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't even. It's weird. It's like all the characters from the first 2 seasons are gone. Like all the new characters.
Oh,
I felt.
Were they useless though? That's the thing.
You know what it felt like? It felt like it was like Dungeons and Dragons in space for me. With like, it was a weird crew of characters. Like they had like the elf-like warrior character, and then they had Picard just sort of tagging along with this ragtag crew. I don't know what exactly they were trying, but this one is like, so they got like this Federation war. Federation is under attack.
Did you like the previous movies? Like the newer ones, the rebooted ones?
Yeah, I actually did. I know some people hated them, right?
I like them. What about, I think AI, you must be a Star Trek guy. Are you into season 2 or are you just begrudgingly watching it?
He's a Star Trek fan? Yeah.
I don't know. I'm curious because a lot of people who say they like are watching Picard seem to like Star Trek as a whole. So
this is, I mean, even in the other season 1 anyway, we didn't get a lot of like just Enterprise type Galaxy class ships. Like we got star bases, we got Geordi. Like this just looks like the original series.
Yeah, I'll check it out. I have nothing to lose. Just my time and energy.
She was in the last 2 seasons.
Yeah.
But most of these people weren't. This reminds me kind of like the Next Generation movies that came out.
Is that the one with the Borg or no?
Yeah, like was Generations with Kirk, and then what was the one with the Borg? First Contact.
Yeah.
Like those type of thing. It just looks like a show version of that. The only weird thing is like I don't know, like Brent Spinner, whatever, I don't know how to pronounce it, like playing Data, and then he's getting old, and then they just throw the gold makeup on him, and it's like, well, he's a robot.
Yeah, but they do it to make him comfortable with others.
Yeah,
it's like we aged you up with them, so you're not a weirdo that just stands out.
He's just
I'll try it. What do I have to lose?
It just looks like nostalgia to me. I'm good. I'm happy. Yeah. I still go back and watch some of the Next Generation episodes. Some of them were just amazing.
What it's funny, we're talking about a bunch of nostalgia, and like we were talking about comics earlier and the wokeness of it. And I was like, oh, they like blew past that. There's past that now where they're jumping the shark. Are you reading anything these days or no? Like TV shows, I know like you watch your weekly stuff. Comics, you loved the 90s X-Men and you like their classic looks. You've read comics in the past. Are you over and done with just Marvel as a whole?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Just saying so yeah, I'm done. They blew it.
Yeah, like I have pretty strong feelings.
Because we always talk about toys and movies.
Yeah.
But never comics.
Yeah, the weird like infighting that happened where you had like this, like I totally believe the culture war just like ruins crap on both sides. Like I don't take sides in the culture war, but it just ruins stuff. And I think it got so into the comic books and people trying to like slam each other and trying to like push their politics. And I'm just like, I just want cool superhero stories.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny. And then like I feel like Marvel and DC, especially Marvel, went so far one way, and then like you had all these creators that left, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna make conservative comics," and it's like, yeah, those aren't good either. Like they're just terrible. So yeah, no, I don't read anything.
That's a shame. Try some indies maybe one day.
Yeah.
78 always has a good list of stuff to read, so I still have to check out Something's Killing the Children. I have them. I just need to read them.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and then like you said, there's a lot of Jump the Shark stuff going on, and
yeah, like one of my favorite characters, they made a god, and I'm like, it's not even like relating. Like I'm not one of those people like I need to relate to this character, but now I'm like, you used to be street level, now you're off in space making like space clones of yourself, and like what? I don't understand why this is happening.
Yeah, and like one of the big Jump the Shark ones that I heard about too was like remember when they like gave Black Panther like a space empire?
Yeah, I was confused by that. I tried to read it and I couldn't finish it.
No, because it does. And I think what's happening is a lot of these writers are coming in from outside, and they're like, they don't even realize why that doesn't work for canon.
Yeah,
like all the times he could have like drawn on his space empire forces for things.
And then like Spider-Man's my other favorite character. I don't even know what's going on with him anymore.
Yeah,
Miles had that ugly suit.
Yeah, it'd be nice. I think I was saying like I read years ago that the reason they did the Ultimate Universe was to reboot the universe a little bit so that writers could write new stories with the characters the way they were. They didn't have to like take on all the baggage of 50 or 60 years of storylines.
Yeah,
and I believe they need another kind of another thing like that where they
something like that.
Just reboot the classic universe for everybody that wants to see Captain America and Iron Man and Spider-Man team up against Galactus, and like just all the new characters and all the crazy stuff you've done, just keep that in the 616 if you want, and then you can have both fan bases, right?
Well, Ultimates, I believe, is coming back. Well, they teased it. I don't know if it's a mini series or what they're doing with it. I haven't heard any news aside from what was posted months ago, so I'm curious to see how they handle that. Mainly because Miles isn't even supposed to be in the 616. If anyone read Secret Wars, that's not really a spoiler at this point.
Right. Yeah, he was in the Ultimate Universe, and then they merged. Is it Secret Wars is what brought him into the 616?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to spoil it. I don't even care. It's been like 10 years. So Molecule Man was the like catalyst of like saving the universe, and throughout the whole story, he kept saying he was hungry, and no one took him seriously because like he's crazy. And Miles had a cheeseburger in his pocket, so he gave it to him. He's like, "Thanks, kid. I like you." And then he took him and his cast and his most important cast members and put him in the 616 universe, and then the Ultimate Universe got erased. So Miles was saved because of the cheeseburger. I was like, yeah, okay, whatever.
It sounds
but
like
there's a panel of like one person's staying, and then the person beside them, like Thanos snaps, like they fade away. So essentially they're dead, but like, it's pretty convenient. You and your family survived, and all of your schoolmates survived, and there's no question asked where you came from. Like the world just merged perfectly, as it should, because he's Molecule Man, whatever. But it's just funny, like that's their moneymaker. So they had to do everything in their power to save him.
Right. Yeah, that's interesting, right? You don't think about that, but if he fits into the 616, it means they transported his entire family into the 616. Like everything has to be there, right? Yeah, interesting.
It doesn't work otherwise. That was my problem when I thought. So in the Venom movie, the post-credit scene was he got brought into the MCU. I'm like, that doesn't work. Now he's just a homeless guy. He's just, like, he doesn't have a life there. So when people say that about like, oh, don't worry, the Flash can like use this version and bring him here, I'm like, you still need to realize he has his own life in his own universe.
Yeah.
If you displace him, he's just a homeless person now. He doesn't have the resources. He doesn't have the support. Same with Spider-Man. Like they're like, oh, we can use the Sony Spider-Man here and blah 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 blah. I'm like, you could, but would it make sense? even in the movie, in the movie world, would that work? Like you need to think of the bigger picture.
Yeah. I was thinking like Venom. Eddie Brock could join that activist group that's like trying to get homes for all the people that came back after.
What's it? I don't even remember that. Just that that girl who I hated.
Right.
I'm like, I don't even feel bad for you. I just want you to get punched in the face.
Yeah. What was it? Yeah. What's it called? Like, or what do they say? Like one people, one Flanner. Oh, I can't remember. Yeah. It's like this weird political activist group. Yeah, Disney likes her. They brought her in as that actress as the big reveal at the end of Solo too, right?
Yeah. Oh my God, I don't know why.
Like what gang wouldn't be dominated by a 16-year-old girl in armor? She's like the toughest one.
We were talking about comics earlier, so I'm throwing up. This is basically Brad and I were talking about like our favorite suits and ones we found laughable.
Yeah.
Two off the top of my head, these are two versions of Spider-Man I liked. It's the Todd McFarlane style, just like ripped and those big eyes. Venom, same thing. He's not huge. He's not the Hulk, but he's like bigger than Spider-Man. I just like this style of him. Another one's Bagley. He's pretty good. One I hate, a god-awful Miles costume. Like, this is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. I know it was supposed to be for his anniversary. I don't want to hate on, I don't know, who was it? Chase Conley. I think he designed it. But to me, I'm not feeling it. Same with the toy that came out. I'm hoping it's just like a blank body underneath the hoodie, because I'm going to use it as fodder.
Yeah, that's a weird one. Is it actually pink?
It's supposed to be reddish, but
okay.
You could, I don't know.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work.
No, I mean, it looks like he forgot his pants at home.
And then another one. I liked this version of Wally West.
Right.
They brought him back. They gave him a different costume. So he stands out. Like, he looks cool to me. I like this version. He's his own character, but he's still the Flash. And then these are the two I hate the most. This is the New 52 Kid Flash. His suit's just too busy and ugly. And then you have Wallace West.
Is that how they're separating them? Is one is Wallace West?
So when the New 52 started,
yeah,
and they wanted diversity, they made Iris African American, or at least half African American,
right?
And they made Wally black. So he was Wally. This was Wally, and then they realized, oh, this isn't working. We need to figure this out. So they brought this Wally back. He was stuck in between times in the Speed Force, and he was erased from history because of
diversity.
Yeah. And then in the story, they're cousins who are named after their grandfather. So he goes by Wallace and he goes by Wally. So they they wrote themselves into a corner, and then they had to backtrack and figure out a way for these two to coexist, because you can't just get rid of Black Wally, because that would be
whitewashing.
Yeah.
At that point, you're whitewashing in reverse. Yeah. Somebody should retcon this story with when Cable changes time in X-Men and there's a storm that comes out and takes everything over. They should have a diversity storm that just goes out and changes everybody.
Well, Bishop went into that black universe. I didn't follow up on that issue yet.
Oh yeah.
I showed you the cover. Elvin was making a joke. It's like, whose race are they changing? I'm like, oh, this is hilarious. I just finished reading this X Factor, I think it was.
Yeah.
It's a Black Cyclops, Black Jean, Black Wolverine.
Yeah, that's it. That's all they do. That's like what I was saying. It's like they have some sort of idea session meeting, and they're just blown away by this idea that somebody comes up with. What are we gonna do? Oh, just change their race. Oh, genius. That's
Well, for me, this is how it always happens. We branch off into different topics. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I want them to create new characters.
Yeah.
And just do that.
Yeah.
If you have the inspiration to make a character, do that and make him whatever race you want. But there are people out there who say, why can't X character be this race? That's fair. That's a fair question. Why can't they? In my mind, it's because they were created to be this one. So
right.
It doesn't bother me when you change it. It bothers me when you forcefully change it in hopes to pull in a new demographic to make money without actually caring or having a valid reason to change them.
Yeah.
That seems kind of lazy to me than putting the effort into making a new character. Because it sounds like I'm just against changing the race. I'm not. I'm against laziness.
Totally. Yeah. I find the way I think about it is you'll hear writers talk about like how they didn't even want a character to do a certain thing. Like they're like, like that's not where I wanted it to go. But in order to stay true to the character and the storyline, I had to go that direction.
Yeah.
And so if you're writing something and you get to a place where you're like, oh, this character has to be changed and it fits, and so the story is what's driving you, and you arrive at a character where you're like, oh, I'm gonna race swap the character, I'm gonna gender swap the character because it works best for the story I'm writing. That's fine. That makes sense. Do it. But that's not, I don't think that's what's leading it. What's leading it is like they start with the idea like we have to do this, and then we're going to fit the story to it. And it's like, no, don't. That's, you're putting the cart before the horse, and you're going to end up with bad storylines that way.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's just this kind of like weird, lazy, like, oh, this will grab headlines, this will bring in eyeballs, and it's like, yeah, you're not going to end up with a good story that way.
I was looking at the point, what you just mentioned, how they write to a certain point and then they have to write it a way they don't want. To me, that reminds me of, I think Todd was writing an issue where Juggernaut got a sword stabbed in his eye, and that didn't sit well with them. So then in 1991, he like left and did his own thing. But it's just funny, like how much control the editor has versus the person writing and so on. Like all the controversy behind it, what goes on behind the scenes. Was it either New Warriors or Champions where they brought in like Safe Space and whatever?
Oh yeah.
And they didn't even hit shelves. Like those got canceled immediately.
Yeah.
I'm always curious, like who decided that would be good? Like, did you test this? Is there a test audience?
Right. Some of it almost seems like trolling too, where it's like, I don't even think, even if your politics go that way, I don't even think you want to create this character. Like, I don't think, I think you're doing it because like you're making a statement, or you're trying to get a headline, or you're trying to create a controversy.
That character, all of those character designs would be if my boss said, no, we need to be more inclusive. I'm like, okay, I'll show you inclusive. Like, it'd be spiteful. Like, I wouldn't do it because I am passionate about it. And like, here's your inclusive.
And maybe that's what it was, right? And then maybe the writer or the artist was trolling the editor, and then the editor figured it out and was like, oh, wait a second. Like, no, we're not going ahead with this. Yeah, you never know, right? And sometimes I think it's like, these are corporations too. And I think they do things like, oh, like any press is good press, like bad press, whatever. So let's just stir the pot.
Yeah. What else we got here? Oh yeah, Wonder Woman. So I love this look.
Yeah.
I love when she has her cape. I like when she like takes it off before a fight. I love seeing her with a sword. Mm-hmm. I'm glad I have the Mezco one. I bought the Mezco one because it had all of these accessories, and she's posed with the cape. That's just my default look for her.
That's cool.
And then, so this is funny. So Ultraman, as a kid, I thought this was ridiculous. Like this, I thought it was the craziest looking thing ever.
It didn't even fool you as a kid.
And then Netflix redid it, and I'm like, oh, this looks sweet.
Yeah.
So this is, I threw this up because here's one that changed my mind.
Right.
All it took was, I'm not saying the story's any good or anything like that, but visually I like this. I know people hate it because they prefer the alien fusion and growing to the size of like a skyscraper, or like stepping on cities while fighting giant kaiju. But to me, this is cool too. I like it.
Are any of the Ultraman fans sort of like, is there any backlash because it kind of looks like an Iron Man ripoff?
Yeah, there's some haters who they prefer like the old way.
Yeah.
Like growing big and fighting giant Godzilla type kaijus. Like that's fine. I understand because this is a drastic change from the original.
Yeah.
But I tried watching the original and it just, I don't know. I think I would have had to watch it as a kid. So the nostalgia hit me, because watching this now, it just seems ridiculous to me.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. It's like coming off the X-Men cartoon and then having like black leather 90s X-Men.
Yeah. Did you care? Like, did that bother you?
It did at first, right? But then I think it grew on me. You know what bothered me the most of the X-Men 90s movie was the weird age shifts where all of a sudden like Gambit and Rogue weren't the same age.
Oh yeah.
That just pissed me off. Like Rogue became like the Jubilee character. It's like, why?
Yeah. That always bothers me too. And it's because in my mind, I think about comics I read where these two characters interact.
Right.
Because they are the same age and they have the same. Like, I can't picture MCU Spidey palling around with Deadpool. Like, they have like a love-hate brother, like bromance.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't want to see a 19-year-old hang out with like a mid 40, like almost 40-year-old guy.
Right.
Even though they have the quips going on, it's still weird to me. He just graduated high school, I guess.
Yeah, that'll be strange. And then how will that even work too? They're not going to do that, are they?
I don't think they would, but like,
no. Yeah.
That's what people go to though. Like if in their mind, they have these scenes in comics like, oh, maybe this will happen now.
Yeah.
Like, well, it won't.
Right. Yeah.
Because you made Rogue 19 and Gambit was going to be like 40 because he showed up in the prequel movie with Logan. So that wouldn't make sense.
Right. Yeah, some of that stuff we might see, like you might get a Spider-Man MCU crossover Deadpool animated, like kind of like a what if show.
Now that he's in the MCU, I hope they do him justice.
Yeah, I hope so too.
And then anime wise, there's old and new Broly. I don't know which one I like more. Character wise, I like the new one because he actually has a backstory and character development. The old one's just the Hulk who just wanted to kill everything. So it depends what you're in the mood for.
Right.
And then for you threw up So what you like this classic look or what? You thought it was ridiculous?
I hate it. I hate all of those kinds of like anything that looks like there was that period they went through, like remember like Battlestar Galactica and these types of things in the 80s where they just like they picked these suits that just didn't age well, like high collars, like they look like they're like in the disco. I just hate anything like this that it doesn't age well. And then the new Nightwing or the classic Nightwing that I think it was the classic Nightwing, the kind that Jim Lee would draw. Yeah, so much better.
This made me laugh. Powered down Colossus. When you realize he's just a guy in underwear.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's basically a wrestler, but seeing him without his armored look, he looks silly.
It looks terrible. It's like just put something on. Yeah. And that little V coming into the stomach. Yeah, it's just terrible. And yet it looks awesome when he's in metal form.
Who else we got here? Oh God. So it was the containment suit Superman, the electrical powered one.
Yeah. So do you know what is the story with this? Well, this was after Death of Superman. He came back.
This is a bit after. Basically, his powers, I don't know if you want to call it evolved because they seem worse to me. He had to turn them on, like he powered up and he became living energy.
Right. Okay.
Bullets went through him. He didn't deflect them anymore.
Oh, that's good for hostages. And
I remember this used to be on the radio. Like this big change was on the radio, and I remember listening to it. And people had these gripes, like, "Well, what if there's a hostage situation? How is he supposed to catch the bullets?" Like they just tore him to shreds.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they were getting killed by Ricochet before, but
just staring at it is crazy to me.
Yeah, it was terrible. And then why did he become blue and red?
He's an energy form, so they were able to split. I don't know, man.
Yeah. Anyway, I mean, I chose this. I didn't know the storyline, but I remember seeing this, and yeah, it was just terrible. Like compared to his classic costume, it's just awesome. You got this. Yeah.
Okay, who's your favorite character? Who's your favorite Marvel character? Because I know you don't read it anymore, but I don't know who you actually like back in the 90s. Was it one of the X-Men?
No, it'd be Spider-Man.
Spider-Man? That's a safe answer, man.
Yeah.
I say wear the shirt.
I actually picked up like Spider-Man comics back in the day. I'd pick up like a Puma comic or like his like Maximum Carnage and like I followed all that.
You read Ultimate?
Did not. I think it was out. No, I didn't read Ultimate.
Okay, so you didn't read like the Death of Spider-Man and all that?
No.
Okay.
No.
I was curious how you felt like when that actually occurred. I remember I like stopped reading for a bit.
Yeah.
Because like why did you make this version of him and then kill him? I was bothered. Like
Right. And then yeah. No, I didn't want, and I didn't I was out by the time they did what was the other one that was so unpopular when they like undid his marriage.
Oh, One More Day.
Yeah, I was out by then too.
That was so convoluted.
Yeah.
So for anyone listening, Spider-Man It's weird. He didn't sell his soul to the devil. Aunt May was shot, and him and MJ made a deal that she would be okay, but it would cost him his love with Mary Jane, and then that means no more marriage. But
Right.
they wrote a side story explaining the circumstances behind it, and it wasn't just Mephisto snapping his fingers. What he did was show up at certain points of his life, which caused him to miss his wedding because Spider-Man was chasing this villain, and they fell off a roof, and the guy landed on him and knocked him out. So he missed his wedding, so they technically weren't married, but they stayed together. And then later on, Reed, Tony, and Doctor Strange felt bad that Peter ruined his life by unmasking himself. So they made a magic science bubble, and anyone who wasn't inside the bubble would forget who Spider-Man was. So my question is, if Mephisto pulled the strings to make all that happen, why did he need to make a deal with him? Why couldn't that just be the story? If you took Mephisto out, it'd still just be Reed, Tony, and Doctor Strange helping Spider-Man. So that was pointless. And it also makes it look like Spider-Man's an idiot who makes deals with demons who don't have his best interest in heart. That was just a weird circumstance, weird writing choice.
Was that after? So he unmasked himself during Civil War. Is that what that was from?
He did it to like show support to Tony.
Yeah, right.
And then that blew up in his face. Obviously, I don't know what they thought would happen.
Yeah, and that was weird too. That like Aunt May was like in the hospital, and they were talking about how like Peter didn't have any insurance, and he's like his friend is Tony Stark.
No, that's what he left though. Like he left.
Right,
like,
so nobody will pay for his insurance.
He's a turncoat. No, Spider-Man pummeled Tony in the back alley, and he's like,
yeah.
He had his. I think he beat Tony into submission, and then Tony went and helped May.
Right. Actually, I always remember that as like one of the one times I saw in sort of American media where they actually mentioned the fact of like how bad it is if you don't have health insurance in the U.S. I was like a Canadian kid. I'm like, what? What do you mean? Like,
yeah, what do you
help?
She just died. What happens here?
They like put her in a bed in the hallway or something. It was like, what?
Yeah. So that was weird. And then another one was the Norman Osborn and Gwen Stacy like sex scandal.
Yeah, I missed that.
Oh, you missed that?
Yeah.
Okay, well, it turned out to be a lie anyway. But for I want to say like 20 years, it was under the impression that Norman and Gwen had a thing.
Okay.
And then she got pregnant, and that's why Norman went after her.
Okay.
On the bridge, and then killed her. Blah blah blah.
Right. Yeah.
And then she had twins, and Norman took them and hid them away.
But it was all a lie.
They wrote themselves. They like this is a 20-year like, oh, this is a stupid story. We need to fix this too. They're going and course correcting now, basically.
Right. Yeah.
So that was all an elaborate ruse as well, to the point where like this doesn't make sense either. But so this is what I'm talking about, where they jump the shark. They just do things like that. But I'm glad they course corrected that, because that was one of the worst Spider-Man moments in history. Because that's gross.
Yeah, I mean, I'm impressed at your staying power and your knowledge. Like, it's if I ever am lost of what's going on, I always ask you, and you're still.
The details are a little dodgy sometimes, but I need to like be involved in my boy's life.
Yeah,
as his father, I need to watch him from afar.
But yeah, I'd like them to just get back to some classic Marvel universe, some classic DC universe would be amazing. It'd be nice to see them do like a reboot.
Were you a big Hulk fan? Do you know what's going on in the world of the Hulk?
No.
I don't know how this works, but Bruce is piloting Hulk like a spaceship.
Right. Okay.
In his mind, and he locked the Hulk persona away where he has to fight simulations, and the angrier he gets, the more power the Hulk ship has. And it doesn't look like a spaceship. It's just the Hulk with like a visor on and like nodes on him.
That just sounds terrible.
So these are one of the things that I enjoyed Immortal Hulk. Like, I recommend that to you. That was a cool one. He was cunning, and you got to see a different side of Hulk. He didn't just smash things into submission. I mean, he does because he's the Hulk, but
Yeah.
That was great. Like I got to see another side of the Hulk.
Okay. Yeah.
It'd be
yeah.
like Joe Fix It or Devil Hulk.
Yeah, I'd go check that out. Like I liked I jumped back in on like I went and picked up the graphic novels. I just grabbed them from the library, but for the Thor Gore series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah, I was not a fan of that Hulk.
Let me see if it's just a spaceship Hulk.
Spaceship. Was it? So Immortal Hulk is the one you're recommending though?
Yeah, read that one.
Yeah.
Until it goes weird because it carries on into the like the crappy stuff.
Spaceship Hulk.
There he is. Look at his beauty.
Oh yeah, okay. Right.
Like I'm sure you've seen him.
No, I haven't.
Oh, you haven't? Okay.
No.
Well, that's what he looks like.
And he's got little like I never understand when they give him armor.
Yeah, I don't know what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, he's more durable than any of the armor he wears.
I'm trying to think of like stuff I'm keeping up with and stuff that I fell off. All the X-Men stuff I'm still reading for the most part. The Krakoa stuff, I don't mind it. It's about time they got their own nation. How do you feel about that?
Well, the stuff you told me I don't like.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean,
that's yeah. No thanks. But
do you feel like they were long overdue? Like this was bound to happen. There's no way the mutants were just going to sit there forever.
Oh, I thought you meant the other thing was long overdue.
No, that was stupid. Sometimes cuckolding is necessary for relationships to build.
Yeah, exactly. It's a long overdue. I don't know. They've had multiple nations of their own. What was the one? There was the one that was destroyed by the Sentinels and killed a bunch of people. Like Pyro died, and yeah, I can't remember. It was
Genosha.
Genosha. Yeah, I was gonna say it sounds like Krakoa. Yeah, Genosha. Yeah, they had that. They had Utopia, which is another sort of nation on their own.
I mean, I'm all for this. Like, it's cool. Something I don't know. I like what they're doing. It's just I'm waiting for it to collapse on itself. I don't know when they're gonna fall down the stairs and break their legs and that. But
yeah, I liked. It was funny. Like I was like that with Utopia, and then I liked Schism was okay, and then I didn't like when Scott and everybody became terrorists.
That wasn't his fault. That was the Phoenix Force's fault.
Yeah, the Phoenix Force stuff was okay. I read that. That was Avengers versus X-Men.
Yeah.
And then
you didn't like the stuff after?
Yeah, where they got all their black and red suits and they went all Matrix. What was that?
And his powers were broken?
Yeah. And he had
they curved. Like the Phoenix Force broke them.
Oh, right.
That. I didn't mind that. A lot of people are like Scott's a jerk, like Scott's a dick, blah blah blah. But
yeah, he
was possessed. I'll give him credit.
Yeah, I didn't like, and then they brought in new characters. It was like gold balls or whatever his name was.
He's necessary. He's part of the reason Krakoa like exists. So I don't know if you're aware they figured out the secret to immortality, but it's not really a big deal because it's just cloning themselves. So his gold balls are eggs, like they're embryo. So they need him.
Yeah.
For the embryo sacs, and then the clones come out of that.
Okay.
So his power is ridiculous, and it's only useful for this one and only thing.
Yeah. I liked Hijack. I didn't think they did anything with him in that comic, but I thought it was a cool idea that you could just interact with vehicles and take them over.
Oh yeah, he was cool.
Yeah.
See, sometimes I just like going down memory lanes of comics. Yeah, let's see what. Yeah, see, that's what AI basically feels the same way I do. That's what I said earlier. Like, don't try to be diverse. Just make comics.
Yeah, I think nowadays, considering where we are as a culture, I think diversity will happen when you create new characters. Because it's not the 1950s anymore.
Yeah. The loudest person, the loudest audience isn't always the largest.
Yeah.
It's just the content people are quiet.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah, and I don't know. Like I follow. I like watching the some of the YouTubers that just crap on the modern sort of, I guess, woke comics or whatever. We were just talking about that word.
Yeah. So you got to be careful with that too, because sometimes it's not even woke. Sometimes it's just like for instance, people think the new Mario movie is woke because Princess Peach is in it and not captured. To me, that's not woke. That's just giving her basic character like development and characteristics instead of she was captured and she likes to bake cakes. Those are the two most sexist things I could ever think of for a princess. She's a damsel in distress, and when she's freed, she bakes Mario cake.
Yeah,
that's but.
Yeah, I got burned on that a couple times where there was movies where they're like, "Oh, don't watch it. It's going to be this. It's going to be that." And then I watched it and I was like, "It wasn't actually that bad." Like you guys exaggerate because those channels they need content too, right? So they just want to complain about everything. I remember there was some channel where they were talking about Discovery, Star Trek Discovery, and they were trashing some scene in it where one of the characters was torturing one of the bad guys, and they were like, "Oh, look, the morals of the new Star Trek are so different than the morals of the old Star Trek." And I remember sharing that with somebody, one of my friends, and then he was like, "I'm actually watching that show, and the scene that he's talking about where the good guys are acting evil is actually from a really specific episode where they went to a mirror universe where they were all bad." Yeah, he was cherry picking, and I'm like, yeah. So anyway, I do think it is an issue, like I said, but I do think that it also gets exaggerated because that also is creating content for other people, right?
Yeah,
griping about it.
If you do also want to read something that isn't like Marvel, go read Nemesis. I think it's a 6-issue mini.
Okay.
He's basically, how do I describe this? He picks a city and he picks a detective to try and capture him. It'd be like, what if Batman was bad and he was bored? He's like, I'm going to commit crimes and you can catch me. And if you don't catch me, I'm going to kill your family. Like he's just like sadistic.
Right.
So I don't know why he does the things he does, but it's cool just to watch him work.
Interesting. Yeah. And he just stages it like a game.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
And then I think they just released their second like series of it. I'm waiting for 8 million genies. I can't remember the name of it.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone on the planet gets a genie at the same time. And it leads to chaos.
Yeah. Remember that? What was that Jim Carrey movie where he was God, and then he let everybody win the lottery, and then they had to split it?
Almighty. Yeah. What did they get, like 70 cents each?
Yeah. And then they were riding because they all won the lottery, and then they were let down. Yeah. Bruce Almighty, Morgan Freeman's God.
Spawn, I'm reading, but that's hit or miss, so I can't really recommend it to anyone. Something's Killing the Children. That's what 78 told me to read. I trust his instincts. I can't really think of anything else. Oh, I did. Okay, so Jupiter's Legacy, the show sucked, but I did like the comic.
Yeah.
Like a lot. Like it was weird how much I liked it because I don't know, the world they lived in was unique. The characters were cool. One of them's a degenerate, and he ends up like having to save the day. I don't know. It's an interesting take.
What was that one? Oh my god, it was so funny. Speaking of like weird activist comics, it was like I think it was called like Man Killer or something, but it was like this universe where women, when they get their time of the month, they turn into monsters and kill men.
There's a show coming out like that, except they get electric powers. And I don't know what it's called. It must be an Amazon Prime or something.
Yeah, it could be done well. Who knows, right? It's like
I'm not saying it's bad. It's just that's the premise of it. When it's when they are of age and when they are at that time of the month, they get electric powers.
And they gotta control it. Yeah, I mean, whatever. Like we were just saying, we got to reserve judgment, right? It could be good.
It could be cool. It could be a Lord of the Flies type situation. Like it could be like, do you remember Chronicle, where they all got the telekinesis?
No.
It was Michael B. Jordan, something. What's his name? Han, the guy who is Green Goblin in Amazing Spider-Man. I haven't seen him around lately.
Right. What was the one you were telling me about with where it was like only African Americans get powers or something like that? What's that one called? You were telling me about it.
I can't remember now. Let me see.
Yeah. But you were saying it was actually really good. It was smart.
I don't even remember it. Maybe I have to go find it or read it again. I know there was.
I know, right?
There was Bitter Root's the one where they're monster hunters, and that's an allegory for like I think social racism a little bit.
Mm.
But it'd be like Elsa Bloodstone, a family of just monster hunters, and they're African American.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's the kind of stuff that's what we're talking about, like the original storytelling, right?
AI, what do you read? I know that the mainstream stuff is terrible to you right now, so I'm always curious what other people are reading. I feel like indie's the way to go lately, so I need to do a deep dive on those.
Yeah.
If I'm not going to buy toys, I need to go branch out in the reading world. Nothing's really out for me, toy wise as well. If I'm going to buy anything, it's import stuff, and I barely have any of those on hold, so my money's being saved.
You know what I've been it's not pop culture, but I've been blowing so much time like talking to Chat GPT. Have you been doing any of that?
I don't know if I should say it. Someone I know does it for work. and it does their work for them.
Yeah. So I just found out, like, I've been playing Warhammer.
Yeah.
And I struggle with the rules. It knows all the rules.
Oh yeah, these things are weird. I don't mess with that. If there's one thing I've learned from Terminator is you don't mess with technology in the way everyone is. Some people create it to torment. Like they're like, "Hey, are you alive? Tell me if you can feel pain." They ask it these weird questions like that.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
If I was to kill you, how would that make you feel? And then
yeah, they try and give it like existential crises. Yeah, they're just messing with it. Yeah, but yeah, no, it's interesting the way it like. But I would like to. It'd be cool to see. Speaking of all the writing problems and stuff, like I think it'll get to the point where it's able to make start writing movies and writing comics and things. Like it'd be interesting to take it like how you have right now you have algorithms where you can go into a music player and you can kind of say like I like these songs, like what else would I like?
Yeah.
And like I could see it getting to the point where you just go in there and you're like I like these comics, like can you write a Spider-Man story that I would like?
Actually, I don't see why not. That's actually a very good idea.
Right? And I mean if you combine it with the AI art thing,
yeah,
where it's producing its own artwork, and like if you had those systems somehow working together, you could just be like, yeah, I'd like you to write me like a decent Spider-Man story and I'll have Jim Lee draw it. It just like creates the comic for
just in 2 seconds. Jess gets it to tell its stories.
It does.
It's like tell a story about D and the cats, and then it just does it. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
You mess around with this and see what happens.
I know it's gonna put a lot of people out of work, but I mean like it could be making better Marvel comics than Marvel makes, like in hilarious. A couple of years.
No, that's funny. Do this but Jim Lee style. And actually change it to Alex Ross, please. I just
I just changed my mind. I want to draw it all Alex Ross. I want like a 6-part issue series, like, and and then just pick your favorite writer, and it just scans all those comics and writes it in that voice, right?
Yeah,
like you can tell that's coming.
I know. I'm for it. You're not an anime guy, right? Your kids aren't either.
No,
I figured I could tell. I could tell just by looking at you.
It's like no animation back here. Like no. Yeah. I sometimes like did you ever watch the X-Men anime where they did it like anime style?
Yeah, and the intro had all these cool looking characters. They had like Armor and Colossus and Nightcrawler. I'm like, oh sweet. I can't wait for their episodes. And it never ever I was just like it's just basically a made up image.
Okay, so they just took characters from the comic and just put them in the intro.
Yeah. So it's basically Wolverine, Beast, Cyclops, and Storm.
Doesn't it open and it opens with Jean, right?
I think so.
It opens with the Phoenix. Yeah.
And then there was Wolverine in the X-Men, like the Western show, where Jean dies in the beginning.
That was good. I like it. I have it on
like that
DVD.
one.
Yeah.
You like that one? Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish it had a proper ending, but it was pretty decent.
Yeah. So what happened there? Was that one of those ones like Earth's Mightiest Heroes where all of a sudden like Disney bought it and they just canceled everything?
Yeah.
Because they suck. Yeah.
Earth's Mightiest Heroes was awesome too.
It was so good.
I'm curious how they will handle X-Men 97.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
I'm hoping. Yeah. It sounds like the guy who's doing it right now is speaking in the right way. Like red flags from me are when they say things like, oh, you know, like we're going our own way with it, or like
when they say we're going our own way, we have some ideas brewing here that you've never seen before,
right?
And we're going to be as inclusive as possible this time.
Yeah.
I think you were already pretty inclusive. This is a social commentary on like diversity in itself, and classism and racism. Like you guys were doing good. So
yeah, you're doing all right. But yeah, when they start saying stuff like that, you're like, oh no, like it's not always the diversity thing. Sometimes it's just like the weird, like the director or the writer is like, I want to make my own name. Like I don't want to just follow in somebody's footsteps, and then they just start changing stuff. And it's like, please don't. So yeah, no, like what he's saying, like he's talking about being true to the original cartoon.
It takes place after like that. So the apocalypse thing happened.
Yeah.
Did it say how many years after that it takes place?
So what I've read is they say that it will continue right after Xavier. There's the assassination attempt.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the one that Bishop tried to stop. Maybe not. But anyway, there's an assassination attempt. He goes off with Lilandra to the Shi'ar Empire to be healed or something like that. And then they've actually taken Magneto. I don't know if you remember, like I think it was the 80s when Magneto stepped in
school.
Yeah. And so he's got his purple and white suit on.
Yeah.
So just the fact that they looked into that, they've obviously taken actual content from the comic and tried to place it in the show. And the fact that they're talking about continuing it right off of a storyline from the show, it's like
it's unheard of, really. That's never. That never happens.
They don't do their research. Not even
that. Like they rarely go back to a show that ended in the 90s and research it the way you just described and then continue on.
Yeah, totally.
So that's awesome.
That's all they have to do. It's like printing money, and you get even you get Scott Snyder doing the Scott Snyderverse, and he's like, oh yeah, like I read one comic. Like, what are you doing? Like, you gotta read this.
I didn't like her hair in this one, so I made it jet black. It's Rogue with her like white like that's iconic. Why would you do that? No, we're gonna give her a ponytail. And we're gonna water her down a little bit.
And if anybody says anything, we'll just gaslight the fans and be like, oh, why do you take this stuff so seriously? It's just comic books. Like, just calm down. And like, oh, you're just toxic fans. And like, no, it's like, just stick to the content.
Yeah.
So it sounds like they are, which is good.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited too. Yeah. It's not hard, right? Just I think the reason we got such a great MCU universe in the first place was just because who was it? Joss Whedon was like just a mega nerd who loved the content.
Yeah, and then it's what it is now. Like, despite the ones I like, I'm not ignorant. I'm not naive. The ones I like are still not the quality they used to be.
No, they're not. And I think a lot of it too is like, I think the Joss Whedons are rare, and I think a lot of the people now who have to make these movies, they have to make these movies. Yeah. I think the directors and writers would rather be making like the next, I don't know, A River Runs Through It or some sort of film. And they're like showing up for work, and the studio's like, okay, like superhero movies are where the money's at. So you're making a superhero movie. Yeah. And they're like, I hate superhero movies. Like, please don't make me. It's like, no, you're going to make a superhero movie.
Isn't that, I think that's what, like even Christoph Waltz, he's like, I don't know why I did that. Like, he didn't want to be Red Skull.
Right. Yeah.
It's like absolutely beneath him.
Yeah. Yeah. So these actors and these directors and these writers, all these people who've like, this is what they've devoted their careers to.
Yeah.
And they're just being told like, yeah, you're going to be in a comic book movie. It's like, I don't want to be. It's like, well, that's their agents are telling them like, that's all there is. You want to be in a DC movie or Marvel movie or?
Yeah. The lesser of two evils. I did like Peacemaker though. So I know it's not Marvel, but I'm excited for that return.
Have we seen anything on Blade? Because Blade is one of the projects I'm like super excited about.
I haven't seen anything on it except for hearing his voice at the end of Eternals.
Okay, yeah. I mean, what's his? I can never remember the actor's name.
Mahershala Ali.
Yeah,
let's call him Hershey.
Hershey Ali. Yeah. He was the best part of Luke Cage.
Luke Cage.
Yeah,
yeah, it's great until they killed him off and they brought in some wiener.
It's like dance fighting and stuff. Yeah.
God.
Yeah, that was weird. You don't usually take like your most powerful. He was the most powerful actor in the entire show.
Yeah, it's like we don't need you anymore. Okay.
Yeah. So him as Blade, I'm excited about that, and yeah. So there's a couple projects I'm excited about.
Well, fingers crossed they don't ruin it for you. You're running out of things to watch in the superhero world that doesn't leave a bad taste in your mouth.
Yeah, it's true. What about Yellow Daredevil?
I don't even care about that as being his like iconic look. To me, that wasn't anything special. And then in the show, like no one's even talking about it anymore. It doesn't leave an impact on anything. They liked it when they saw the trailer, then they ridiculed him, and then they stopped talking about him. So
there's a trailer for Yellow Daredevil?
Oh no, I mean in She-Hulk. I thought that's what you're referring to.
Oh no, the new show coming out.
So no, I didn't see a trailer for it.
Okay, so yeah, like what I've heard, they're like they haven't. What is it? They snubbed his two buddies from the Netflix show.
Oh, Foggy and what's her face?
Karen.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the reaction was, but some of the media headlines, like, well, people are upset. I'm like, a good riddance. I couldn't stand those two in Daredevil.
You didn't like Foggy?
Oh my god, it was like he had like a male wife who was just like, don't go out and fight crime, and she's constantly like, then he'd find out he went out, and he's like, oh, you're busted now. Like, what the like, just let him go fight crime. Like, this is what he's doing. Those scenes where they're just sitting on a couch crying because he went out and fought crime. I'm like, stop it, just stop it.
Yeah.
And Karen, the same thing, just like constantly giving him shit for saving the city.
Well, just let him do it because he's good at it.
He's good at it. It's got to be done.
He didn't get touched until he met you, Karen. So before that, he was dodging bullets. Then she showed up and distracted him.
Yeah.
Like as soon as his identity leaked to those two, they screwed everything up for him.
Yeah. I don't know if that's probably an unpopular opinion, but they were so whiny. I'm like,
I didn't mind them. I'm fine with them.
I hated those scenes. So I'm happy they're not in it.
That's too funny. Oh well, yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. And then as long as they keep it edgy in that, I'm good.
I don't think they will. If his She-Hulk appearance was any indicator, it didn't bother me as much as it bothered like, I guess Elvin and you. Like you hated it.
I hated it. Yeah. It was stupid.
He was quiet enough and not over the top quippy where I'm like, okay, like whatever. I can see you possibly being edgy when necessary, but
yeah, I like the She-Hulk thing was just, to me, it was just obvious that, I don't know how to say this.
Shoehorned in?
Yeah, it was shoehorned in. And like one YouTuber I watch, Shadow, was talking about how like it's like I think he said the humor in She-Hulk, like the Walk of Shame and stuff, is like the kind of stuff that like a bunch of ladies sitting around with their like glasses of wine are gonna get really like, they're gonna laugh really hard about. But it's like, other than that, like, who likes that kind of humor? Like,
yeah,
it's just I don't know why they did it. Like, why? Other than that, that was the writer room, and they're just like, "Oh, this is going to be hilarious.
This will be funny."
Well, yeah, so funny.
They always do that. Like, picture this strong guy who's supposed to be this way, but we'll make him this way. They did it with Thor. I thought that was funny, but I know it bothered a lot of people because I don't care about Thor that much.
yeah. They just it's I guess because it's hard to bring a character back from that when they're supposed to be super hard, super tough, and then you're just like, oh, wouldn't it be funny if we did this? It's like, yeah, it would be on like a Saturday Night Live skit, but it's not really funny in canon because
like the Daredevil I'm reading now would be disgusted to see. Like, okay,
Yeah.
Daredevil, I like reading Daredevil as well. There's another comic I read. But yeah, no, it's two completely different characters.
Totally. And you know what? It just occurred to me like that would be a funny skit in a Saturday Night Live skit where if they had I can't remember the Charlie Cox on Saturday Night Live and they wanted to do a funny skit of Daredevil, like what if he had to do the walk of shame? Yeah, it's funny. It's a funny gag, but not in canon, not in universe, right?
I'm reading what is it? Devil's Reign, where Mayor Kingpin, and he's just fed up. And he's like, that I'm reading. 78 points says go read Bendis and Brubaker's Daredevil run. I think that's one where the look I like.
With the army pants? Yeah. Yeah. Actually, that's what I was thinking about using the Tarantula. What's the character's name, the figure?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. You could use that, the top half, instead of ordering another 3-pack Daredevil just to make that.
Just to like dismantle him. Yeah, I'm gonna use something. But then red G.I. Joe Ninja. Is that what they used?
Is it? Yeah, I don't know.
Or I'll figure it out. And then combat boots. Sometimes he has the leg wraps. Yeah,
the combat boots and the jeans and stuff. I've seen people use the G.I. Joes, and I think that's probably the best bet. It's easiest. And then the but yeah, I was thinking top half. We could use that Tarantula with the butterfly joints that are already in red, so you don't have to do any kind of sanding down on the joints. No paint rub.
78. Is that the one where he goes to prison? I really enjoyed that one. It's been a while. There is one run where he's like in prison and like people are trying to mess with him, but he's Daredevil. I like seeing those scenarios. And in Devil's Reign, Moon Knight ends up in prison too for a purpose. And he just runs the place. Like I like seeing those things.
Yeah.
There was a recent run where Kingpin encountered Joe Fixit in Vegas. I'm like, good. I always wanted to see this. I like seeing characters like Kingpin or Green Goblin just get manhandled because they're usually like the Predator.
Right. Yeah. I haven't even read Frank Miller's run on Daredevil.
No.
That's the one that everybody goes back to, right?
Check it out.
I see. Yeah, 78 points saying is better than Miller's run. Okay,
but it's still good.
Yeah,
that's just the bar.
Right. Yeah, I should check out Marketplace. I buy a lot of graphic novels on Marketplace, Facebook.
Yeah,
because like it's funny because like the resale value even on trade paperbacks is terrible.
I used to just go through Indigo when I was I used to work night shifts, so I just buy trade paperbacks and then just read them all night.
Yeah,
I just got a tablet.
It's crazy. Like on Indigo, they'll be like $60 for a trade paperback, and then some guy's trying to like he can't get rid of it on Marketplace for $5.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird, but the world's your oyster in that aspect.
Yeah,
but now you have some like reading homework.
Yeah, I know, right?
If you get bored.
Yeah, if I get bored. I wonder if they do. Yeah, I bet everything's audiobooks for me because I can sit and paint and sculpt and work on stuff, and I just listen to the audiobooks. I've actually I did listen to a couple Batman storylines where they just did them in audio, like a audio play.
It wasn't the that Winston Duke one, was it?
No, you're talking about the podcast that came out?
Yeah.
No. Did you listen to that?
A little bit, and then I fell off of it.
Yeah. It was decent though?
He didn't sound like a Bruce Wayne. I could tell it was him just trying to be Bruce Wayne and Batman.
All right.
Like I didn't visualize Batman when he spoke. So
yeah. Remember when like the media was like they were like, "Oh, it's bigger than Joe Rogan." I'm like, what?
For like 3 days maybe because it just yeah. And then now no one's talking about it. So
yeah, I think the media was just happy that anything dethroned Joe Rogan. They're just like, good, thank God he's gone. It's like, no, he's back.
No, he's not gone for now.
No,
he'll be back. He's like a cockroach. I'm not saying I don't like him. I'm not saying I like him. I'm just saying he's like a cockroach.
He survives nuclear blasts.
He perseveres. I'm gonna go read Daredevil now. Actually,
I know, right? Yeah.
Thanks, 78.
Yeah, I got a bunch of Daredevil I gotta read.
That's a good note to end on, I suppose. You got reading homework, you got things to paint.
Oh yeah,
Learned
I got
about
lots
some
of
comics.
stuff.
It was a slow show.
I got this one done well at the beginning there.
Do you have your Luke Cage or did you sell that?
No, I got Luke Cage. See if I can get him out without knocking over the whole shelf.
So who did you use?
Hercules.
Okay, Hercules body. Whose legs? WWE? W.
Yeah. Actually, I don't know wrestlers, so
That's fine.
I can't tell you who it is. He had a Jack Daniels T-shirt. If anybody knows what that means, I don't.
It means he's ready to party, so he sounds like my type of guy. And then Drax's head.
Yeah, it's my favorite Luke Cage head. I've made multiple customs of Luke Cage, and I made him back in the day when the Drax was easy to find, and I tracked down a Drax just for that head.
Did you Facebook market?
I did.
I might do the same. I was like, would Cloak work, but his head's kind of small.
Cloak's decent. I actually really like Cloak's head. You're gonna have to fill in the gap though. There's like a gap in the back of the head, right?
Yeah, I ripped it off when I gave you the other one for the Isaiah Bradley.
Yeah, and that Isaiah Bradley is like one of my favorite. I love the way that.
I still got to do the decal for your shield, but I did see some 3D. Please. I did see the. I need the measurements. That's what I was waiting on.
Oh, okay. Do you have?
Just take a top-down picture.
Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, that'll be awesome. Awesome.
Or just take the ruler and do length and width. Then I can size it.
Yeah, I can do that too.
Okay, cool. Well, sir, I'm going to go do some reading.
Yeah.
We appreciate everyone for listening. Elvin will be back next week, I think. Hopefully. We'll see. Yeah. Maybe he'll just move to Cabo. But if you haven't, check out the Instagram, ANR Universe. We have Facebook and Twitter as well. And then Brad, I don't know if you still use your Instagram or not, but if you want to say it out loud, please do. He's a good customizer, a great customizer. I think I met him in a parking lot once. I thought it was for something else, and it turned out to be for toys. Next thing we knew, we became friends.
Yeah, so it's just at Bradley Coffee on Instagram. Just my full name, Bradley Coffee. I don't have a cool handle or anything.
That's fine. That's a professional thing to do. So I need to change mine to a legitimate name.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah. All right, awesome. Everyone. Thanks for listening. And we will tune in next week. Take care.
Thanks, guys.